everybody. This is Joseph Vogely of Perfect Ratio Films and Productions. And this here is my partner in crime. This is Thomas Duder, the author of The Things. Thomas Duder, how's it going today, Thomas?
It's snowing outside. No, before I do I know, before I start doing a Family Guy joke there, I don't want to do that. Nah, it's been pretty good. Been busy, been surviving. I think we all have. But, just doing what we can do. Perfect ratio. We rising. We out there growing stronger in the jungle. For those of you who remember Major Payne, there you go. That's a good reference.
And I just want to recap to everybody. So, just the yesterday, as you'll be watching this, we did a big announcement where we changed our name from Stogely Films to Perfect Ratio Films. We have good reasons, mostly because we did some great stuff under Stogely, but we wanted something new and fresh to be under because we've got some really amazing, bloodier, gorier, crazier, funnier, all that sort of
violence.
I'm working with Thomas now. We got some great scripts, brilliant scripts, because Thomas is a brilliant writer, and we brought in a brilliant writer. This is true. So now we got some really great writing. So I do some writing. I do some crazy writing, and me and my friend Amy Christine Moline, she's a most beautiful, very talented writer in every single way, and I write scripts with her. We just came out with Gray Manor. And as you can see, I'm talking about a lot of writing here. And so this episode is actually going to be a little bit about our writing process, or rather our different writing processes. And so myself, I work with a lot of different writers. Sometimes I write by myself. I've written with the very talented Tanya Atomic. We've written a few things together. I've written with Amy Christine Moline. I've written with my friend John Stone, who helped me write with Amy Christine Moline, the first Specimen 6, and now I'm working with Thomas as well. So, and I work differently with each one of those people. Thomas, his mind explodes and he goes crazy on the keyboard. So usually I'll just give him like a page or two of notes. We'll talk about things, and then he just kind of goes his own thing and he does it, and then it goes back to me. I take some notes, give it back to him. It's a different process than how I work with John or Amy or other people. So
if you give me the ball, I run with it.
He does big time. So, so just starting out this right here, I want to throw the ball over to Thomas real quick here. And Thomas does a lot of writing. He writes scripts, he writes books, he writes all sorts of stuff. He just like I said, we've written 6-7 scripts together now that we're working on in one capacity or another. And but Thomas, tell us about your background in writing in general.
Well, first and foremost, let me just start off with this. I am a selfish bastard. All content creators are, on a certain level, selfish. You have to be, but where you can work with others, do so. It's that old adage, the old proverbs about being flexible in the face of a storm. In this case, the storm is creativity. We all want the same thing, though. As long as we get that in the end, as long as we can all work together, that's what matters to me personally. Hashtag get the job done. You will hear me say it a lot. We're going to be having it on shirts. I already had it on shirts at one point in time. We will put it on more. But with that stated, like you mentioned, I do have a background in literature. I've got 9 books under my belt. I've been published traditionally. It did not end well. I had to break off because, never mind. They didn't really understand the process of what I do. For instance, in my Vanguard Action Adventure Urban Fantasy series, The Generalist, name drop, we have something called the Black Page, which is printed exclusively on the physical copy. But getting an entire black page with only white lettering on lying in Microsoft Word, I have to use Kingsoft, which is a Korean knockoff of Microsoft Word, in order to paint the backgrounds. But there is a way to do it. I taught them this. They did not care. That we had problems because that's such an important meta part of the series. The whole point is, as you read it, something's happening. I won't talk too much about it. You'll have to see it for yourself. But suffice it to say, that's one example of how I have not worked well with somebody. Not really that good of a thing to say about it when it comes to a hiring interview situation, but whatever. At least you know. There's very few things I'm willing to be very inflexible about. But that's very far and few between. I don't ask for a lot. If something is that important that even after I've talked it out with you, you're still like, well, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and do it. It's like, oh my God, dude, no. Especially if everyone else is telling you that is bad. listen to your peoples. No matter how good you are, no matter how good you think you are, this is to our audience, not to Joe. Joe is fucking great. Joe has been an amazing person to work with on the writing level. Now, I've written a couple of things with a couple of people on the side, mostly unpublished thusly, but I can't complain. And I gotta admit, Joe, you do a good job, bro. You know, I like to put it forth that, yeah, as good as I am, and I will do that. My shoe's shiny, it's good. But for the most part, I am a good motherfucker. I am up there. I put it out there. But I like to think that I at least hang with people who can also live up to that philosophy. When we get the job done, it looks good. We're both happy with it. Everyone should. To a point. Some people are just like, no, that was a stupid idea. But once again, if the consensus of the group is maybe you shouldn't do that, maybe you shouldn't do that. Strangely enough, that actually comes from my time in music, believe it or not. Heavy metal, action adventure background in the story at least. Heavy metal, hard rock, punk music through Anubis units. My band, which is currently down due to COVID, amongst other things. But, we'll be back again as soon as things lighten up and we can once again get together just to practice, But when it comes down to the writing of it also, lyrics and poetry, it's another thing I got in there. I come from a varied background, but no matter what it is I've done, always get it done. We always have a product we can point to and say, that's done, there it is. Hell, I've got a battle card game system called Crush 'em based on the Generalist and my Extreme Existence multiverse. And, it's complete, it's done, but the website sucks, and I'm going to be working on that soon. I just discovered I can add that to my normal website, www.thepenismysword.com. I know what it looks like. No, there's a space in there. And it is filled, and I have to stop the sex jokes. We're going to monetize this. I'm sorry.
We'll have a link down. Yeah, we'll have a link down to all the different things down at the bottom there.
Yeah, but
you can check out.
Sorry, funny story. Just throw it out there, just so people know the origins of Perfect Ratio, as we began, so to speak. Was that a mutual friend, the Snackerfice himself, James Ong. I will keep calling him the Snackerfice. If we bring him into Hellfire Chronicles, his character is going to be named the Snackerfice. So. Just saying. But he actually hooked us up. He's like, I know this guy. You should talk to him. I watched Specimen 6, which was good. And, you allowed me to check out some of, you brought me in on this. We talked about the lore. And that's like a whole episode in and of itself when we started brainstorming on the lore. But I think you and I met on that brainstorming level, like somewhere in there, right here. It's like, this is just when you accepted that, and I thank you for it, because some people would be like, no, don't touch my baby. But like I said earlier, if you toss me the ball, I'm going to run with it. In the very least, don't get in the way, block other motherfuckers so I can hit that end goal. When we're both holding on the ball, we spiking it into somebody's head. That's what's up. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it's a really good point. Thomas, he's always making 1,000 points, and then you just got to kind of like stop and think about the one here or there. That's kind of how our writing process goes sometimes, where we end up bouncing around so much, and then we go off into different tangents, but then we always keep coming back. So we're going to the lore of Specimen 6, but I want to keep like things a little close to the vest as we release things out to the public and everything like that. But it is very important to me, and also my favorite part of creating and writing is world building. And so a lot of what we do here at Perfect Ratio is we world build. So I came out with Specimen 6, the film, and that tells you a lot about the world of this slasher killer person. And then I've come out with 2 different radio plays, and both of those cover different aspects about the Specimen 6 world. And so one of them kind of goes into the town of Hollyoak, and we explore other characters nearby and how Specimen 6 has affected them. And then the newest one is called Gray Manor, and we actually go into the past. We explore Marissa Gray's lineage and everything like that, and we got some really cool other ones coming out right now. Thomas and I are writing. I don't want to give away too much, but it is a crazy werewolf vampire crazy thing. That's all I'm going to say right now, because it's nuts. Once you get Thomas's brain working on something, there's some of the craziest ideas you've ever heard in your life, but I'm so excited to work on them. And then we got this other audio play.
That's the thing. Do they kick ass? That's all that matters.
Do they kick ass? And does it work for Specimen 6 in some way? So you will get some Specimen 6 things that are a little bit more what you're used to from hearing from us. But other ones, like in this world, there's some really like out there crazy stuff that we're going to be presenting to you as well. But that being said, yeah, so Thomas and I, we got introduced through James Ong, who you can see in Specimen 6. He's amazing
Getting
in
killed.
that film. And we just because we've got all these other scripts we've written that we're kind of planning. You can't do too much in the winter, especially in the middle of COVID and all this
Yeah.
garbage. But we were able to get together in a very safe way and film a short so that we can kind of figure out how our brains. So we were figuring out how our brains work together on the writing, but when it actually comes to shooting something, that's a little different. Then you got to mold your brain into a
Yeah.
different way. So when I'm on
Sometimes on the
set,
fly. Sometimes
yeah,
on the
so
fly, by the way.
Thomas wrote this script. It was this short script. I had just been, he says on the fly because I was busy editing the radio play that week. And so I didn't have as much time to develop the script as I usually do, but I did have this really strong idea in my brain as to how I wanted it to go. And so on the fly, I did break down the script that afternoon, and then we went and shot it that night. And I think it's pretty funny. I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah, it was so good. It was
Yeah.
so good. And
So,
I just want to, I'll ruin this much. You made a believer out of me when it comes to the doing certain tricks to make certain, because there's a heart involved. That's all we'll put down there. But, and let's do a little bit of revealing a little bit of the backstage. That's actually strips of meat with fake blood. Now, I was like, I wanted a real heart. I wanted to tear, not his heart. We both like James.
Don't give away too much of the film. Don't give away too much.
But suffice to say, the strips though, it was so perfectly done. I am still like impressed by how it came out. The quality of
different parts of my brain.
So
I got my writer part, which has been working for years and years, and then I got my director part, and I've only been directing films for maybe about 6 years now. And over the last 6 years or so, I've been I've been watching movies my whole life, but over the last 6 years or so, I've met a lot of independent filmmakers, and I've been very fortunate to count many independent filmmakers as my friends. And I'll tell you what, the heart thing, the blood thing, all those little tricks and everything, that is very much because I watch a lot of Joe Sherlock films, and Joe Sherlock is a good friend of mine. He's done Odd Noggins. He's done the Blood Creek Woodsman. He's done Drifter. He's done many of my favorite films. I've been in a couple of his films. Strange Monsters is a wonderful film. There's so many good ones. Go check out Joe Sherlock. But I'm always asking, and Joe's such a great guy that I'll be on set or doing something where I'm working on something else. And I'll text him and say, how do I do this? How do I do this? And he's always been really, really great to me. And he'll break down everything. He even knows the mathematical perfect little formula for a nude shower scene. So look at
would you say that it was a perfect ratio though?
Well, I would in many ways, yes, but he's Skullface Astronaut. So check out skullfaceastronaut.com. But Joe, so I worked on a film with him called Dark Zone 13. Go to skullfaceastronaut.com. Go check that out. It's a great film. But I was actually shooting this shower scene, and I didn't know how. I had shot for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I was looking at the footage like, this is terrible. I don't shoot this shower scene. So I texted Joe, and he comes back with this long explanation, breaking it down almost by the math of how to do a shower scene. And you pan up, and then you have her twist. You pan up, have her twist this way. And it's just this beautiful thing. It's like, oh, that makes sense. I went back. I shot the very next day, and it turned out great. And so always, as a director, build up your. So I know we're talking about writing right now, but if you're writing to a movie yourself, study the masters, study the independents, study those guys. I know a lot of B movie tricks under my belt, and so that kind of circles back around to what Thomas was saying. He doubted that this little pile of meat and fake blood would look cool.
Yeah.
However, I was like, trust me, I know how the camera works, and I know how to do this. And wait till you see me shoot some boobs, because I can put boobs on screen like nobody's business.
Mind exploded. Yeah. I know you made a believer out of me that day, man. It's for real. After I saw the video, I was like, because I just pulled off like I do with anything. But then I saw the video, and I'm like, oh, snap! But
that's an important part about, but that actually ties into it. It's an important part about what you're writing, because when you are getting down and you're writing something that you want to shoot, a script, you don't want to hold yourself back so much that you're holding back all the ideas, because going to shoot your film, you have to figure out, how am I going to make this thing. I've had to make a lot of special effects props, evil book,
Yeah. Yes.
lots of
The
guts,
mask.
lots of
The
blood,
mask.
mask of specimen 6. I've made all that stuff, and you don't know if you're going to be able to make it until you make it. And so you do pick up those little tricks of the trade here or there. So my big thing about my writing tip is don't hold yourself back too much, because it's okay to make mistakes just so long as you're out there and you're shooting and you're making that film. So yeah.
One thing you mentioned about process. Oh, sorry. We were talking about processes, and one of the things that you even mentioned earlier was that you and I will get into it. Now, believe it or not, I actually did an entire, first season, I still have to do the rest, an entire season of tips on how to world build and about the writing process itself called Haymakers and Hellhounds, which I will return to it eventually. For now, though, it's good where it is. But one of the things I like to point out is that, there's two types of the beginning of a writing process, and that's either you're a gardener or you're an engineer. An engineer will take meticulous notes, which that's you and I are at that level. We do that. But then there's those who will just write, and that's not bad. Neither of them are bad. Both are extremely good for what they are. Either you just write and you just let it flow and you don't even know what's going to happen versus you have everything charted meticulously. Now, believe it or not, as I've stated in that series, I'm both. I will start off as an engineer, which you and I are in that level. Once again, we'll go over, and I even brought to you, no, we need the beginning, middle, and ending. As the content creators, we need to know how this is going to end. We need to, and things might change. Be open to being flexible. Be aware of the fact that you might have to compromise with yourself or with your characters, But here's the thing. After I've written all this stuff out and I've gotten all the whatever structure overviews and skeletal chapter, overviews I want done, I then go into gardening mode because then I start writing. That's the next part of the writing process is that, as you yourself are aware of at least, I turn off and I just write. I write it all and I pray I stick to my notes. And if I don't, I'll go back during my first editing phase and make certain I stick to those notes, at least somewhat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But beyond that, I don't normally have to do that. And I've been doing this since at least 2012 professionally. So much like you, I've been at this for like 8 years myself as far as the writing goes. And that's not lyrics, that's not poetry, that's straight up the literature. Let's pull out books, novellas, all that business. And that's the part that some people don't understand, though, when I explain, when I just turn off and just tune out and write. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's a different thing altogether. Yeah, when you're sitting down writing.
Practice. Yeah, it's almost meditative practice.
I write on a daily basis just to keep that part of my brain. So I think that's another thing is a lot of people, they don't realize that you have to write on a daily basis, and it doesn't matter what comes out of you. If you're not, even if it's a sentence, you have to write that sentence. If you can't write anything else that day because your brain just won't let you, at least you wrote that sentence.
Yeah. But here's the important thing, though, is that because that doesn't work for just about anyone. Me, for instance, I never did that. It came to the point where I realized, me personally, as long as I can just write and not force it. If I try to force it, it hurts. It hurts the quality. It hurts me mentally.
Oh, I just throw that stuff away, or at least I have an idea about it. Yeah. I have notebooks filled with those little shitty ideas.
Yeah, no, I've done that myself. The overviews I spoke of earlier, I still have books around here, but with notebooks full of overviews and notes. But here's the thing about it, though. Know thyself. As a writer, as an artist, as a content creator, know thyself. The moment you can consistently do good work without stressing yourself, without killing yourself, that's the shit. That's what you want right there. That's the gold ring as a content creator, and it doesn't matter if the consistency is once a month, once a day, like you just stated. If the person does best out there writing every day, even if you've never tried it before, give it a shot. Try it at least for a week, a month. Do it at least for a week. And who knows, if you feel better and stronger and more confident as a writer doing that, hey, that's what's up right there. Now, let's say you don't. Well, fine then. Learn what can you tap into. How can you tap into whatever internal processes that you need to in order to put out that work? Because ultimately, #get the job done. I have nothing but love for all content creators and artists of many types. But I got to point this out to you. There is a line in the sand. There are those who have gotten it done and those who have not. Maybe you're unpublished. Okay, but at least you have a book under your belt.
At least you got it done. You can point to it on your shelf. Hey, look, I got 8 manuscripts. You got to get it done because at some point they are going to get published. And I think that's a really good thing that you brought up there. So as a filmmaker, I'll bring this back up. So for years, I had been writing scripts before I did Specimen 6 or my first film, The Last Temptation of Bible Boy. That wasn't my first script. I had been writing scripts since my since my teens, actually. Me and a couple of buddies, we actually wrote scripts back in high school, and they were kind of loosely based off of A Hard Day's Night and the Beatles, and Help and things like that. And we kind of made these like funny lampoons sort of.
Brother, you are dating yourself. You are dating yourself.
I know, yeah. And so we used to write. But I actually used to write on a typewriter in my room, and so I know I'm really dating myself.
All right, older than you. Am I not older than you? What the hell?
So I actually I've been writing for years and years. I've been writing short stories and poetry, shitty poetry. But you got to get through the bad poetry to get to the good poetry. But I've got many scripts underneath my belt, as I was always wondering, like, well, who can I can find to make this movie for me? And I kind of got to a point in my life where I was like, nobody's going to make these films except for myself. That's what
it is.
And that's exactly when I said, okay, well, what movie do I want to make myself? And me and my friend John got together and I said, okay, we've been talking about this for years. Let's do this. And no excuses, because the only people that are stopping us from doing this is ourselves. And so instantly that like kind of mindset went in there. And so we sat down, we wrote The Last Temptation of Bible Boy over the course of a couple days. We'd take turns. We developed our writing partnership that way, figuring out how we write together. We do a really good job, Johnny and I did, of taking turns going back and forth. So I'd be sitting there drinking a beer for a little while, writing some notes or whatever, and he'd be tapping away. And he goes, okay, it's your turn. So he'd actually like literally tap my shoulder, tap me into the ring. And then I'd go and I'd start writing away for an hour or two. And I'm like, all right, it's your turn. So we go back and forth like that.
Isn't that Matt Damon, Ben Affleck shit, though? Didn't they do that?
I think so, Hunting? Yeah. It's like the Good Will Hunting sort of way. Yeah, maybe. And it worked for...
the couple that did Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, they hammered that out in like a week, and it was the same thing where they did a tag team on it. So apparently, I might be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that's what I remember reading. I used to do that once a year as well, was the Barry Gordy Last Dragon presentation on my old blogs way back.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so you learn a lot when you're doing something like that, And it was always an extravaganza. I'd always present the music from YouTube. I would be like, hey, if you want to go watch the movie, find it on your own, because we don't support that here. So.
But that's the thing again too, is like I don't write with everybody though. It's like certainly not how I write with you, Thomas. And yeah, like I'll write, like we'll talk about things for hours, or I'll write down a bunch of notes, and then I'll be like, I'll go over the notes with you and we'll talk about things. And I say, if you feel okay with this, you're like, well, give me a week or two and I'll figure something out. And then maybe like just we're kind of trying to finesse a script right now that we're going to be shooting at the end of January, and it's been a thing. Thomas has been like, I don't know if I can do this. It's like my filmmaking part of my brain has to tell Thomas to be like, trust me, dude, this is how we need to do this.
But the writer in you feels me. The writer in you understands.
The writer in me does it. Yeah, the writer in me understands, and I don't want to do that. But as a filmmaker, you have to make certain compromises to get something done.
Let's talk about chop jobs. Okay, so first and foremost, just put it out there. This is my very first time someone has ever come to me with a perfectly good script or a perfectly good
It's a beautiful script. It's a great script.
I love it. It was great. You and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
But there is still an issue of time. That because of the COVID, because of everything else, because of what's been going on, we need to make it smaller. We need to make it less time. And it's like, oh my God, it's only 18 minutes. It's not even 18, it was like 16 minutes. But we got to get it down to 10. We have to break it down to 10.
It's just the way it works.
On the one hand, I should be able to professionally look him in the eye and say, I got this. And I can still get it done. I can still get it done. Right now we're on page 12, I think, or 13 out of 16. And out of everything you and I discussed about what I'm going to do. But now comes the hard part, because now I have to condense certain things that personally, if I can, and I am going to try my damnedest to ensure that we get the funding so we can continue forth with the original script. But in the meantime, head in the clouds, feet on the ground, I got to get this condensed down to 10 pages. So I have to condense some of this really great rhetoric.
It's a perfect script. Any other year, I would shoot this and I would say, let's spend 3 weeks and shoot it with a big cast of people and an actual crew. But right now I can't have a big cast. I can't have a big crew.
2 days, if not 1 day, if we're lucky.
Yep. Yeah. So we're gonna have to just do what we got to do. But anyway, that is That's going to be a different episode, you know, and maybe we'll show you something and we'll break it down. We'll break down a scene for you. We can do that. That'd be pretty cool.
Actually show the scripts that we write. Whatever script we're comfortable with, show it online. Hell, remember, I got a homie of mine, a French a screenplay writer, that I got to show the Nazi torture sequence from a certain other thing where we torture a Nazi. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be so good. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you this. So I got lots of older scripts, and I got some of the original drafts of things from Specimen 6 and whatnot. So if somebody wants to say down in the comment section, if you want me to post a link to a script, you tell me right down there, and I'll be happy to show you a sample of one of those scripts. So if that kind of like triggers things in your own brain, and if it helps you as a writer, as a filmmaker, as whatever, I'd be more than happy to show you one of that. But you tell me down there. So if you've written something, if you don't, I would recommend you not show me what you've written personally, because it gets into like legal things and whatnot like that. Not that I wouldn't love to read it, I would. But
we do have enough of our own material. I need to point out.
We got our own stuff. But what I'm saying is like, if it helps you as a writer and everything like that, or if you have any tips of your own, if you're an independent art writer or filmmaker and you want to drop it down below for other people to see, please do that. Please comment. So okay. So anyway, well, I think that's pretty good for our what we're talking about as far as writing and everything right now. But I think we should revisit this topic because there's so much more that we can dig into.
The world of writing is massive, my friend. Yeah. We have plenty of meat on this gristle. We will come back to it.
So if you do want more episodes about writing, if you want, Thomas has so much knowledge about writing that in so many like things he does in so many things that he can like bring to you guys if you got questions, anything like that. That'll help you. And I'll tell you this one thing, though. A lot of people that I know or that I've met, they have a lot of these reservations about their own writing talent and everything like that, and just sitting down and doing it. The thing of the matter is, to write, you must write. You can't sit around and say, well, I'll get around to writing someday, or I should really be writing, or I should, things of that nature. It's like, oh, well, I even have like a degree in writing. I should be writing. It's like, then why aren't you writing? Like when it comes to, just do it. And
let me put it out there. Let me put it out there really quick. I once knew a kid when I first started writing, and I put it out there in 2012. Very first book, I was doing the convention circuits for the first time in my life. Never been to a convention beforehand. Anime, of course, because weeb like that. We got a nerd like that. And I'm just telling you, I came across this one kid. He steps up to me. He's like, maybe he looks 16, but he says he's 18, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I've been writing for like 2 years. I'm like, oh, what you doing? Oh, no, I'm unpublished, bro. Okay, what you doing? Notes. What? This dude has, and for all I know, he's still doing notes. I have met so many people out there since going pro who have decades of notes. Bro, put it out there. Go to WordPress and even put the notes out there. Yeah. At this point in time, when you have enough material to just make a book, make the book. And you know what? Sometimes you have to swallow your pride. Sometimes you have to swallow the fear and the despair, everything, whatever's bothering you in life. Just do it. If you're poor, you're homeless, you're broke, go to the library and write it for free. You got time, bro. Do it. There are so many websites out there. Let's not even talk about Amazon. Let's not even talk about Smashwords. Let's not even talk about Lulu. Let's talk about WordPress. Go down to Wattpad. Go down to Literotica. Whatever will do you, the moment you are published, it doesn't matter. It could be a small 20-page short story. And in fact, if let's say you are one of the ones like such as what Joe's talking about earlier, and you're having problems, you don't know where to begin, publish a short story. Make it 5 to 10, 20 pages, hopefully. Edit it to the best of your ability. Get a good cover. Get friends to help you. If you don't have friends, look up on the Googles. You'll find people who will help you. There are groups out there that can help you. Pay somebody on Fiverr to help you. Go to, oh my God, I'll remember it later. There's a particular website out there, Simbi.com, SIMBI.com. And you can, well, for Simbi coin, it's an underground thing where you can trade for services. And there are actually people on there who can help you as far as getting it done. And you know what? Do that short story, 5 to 20 pages, get it done. Once it's published, once you can, like you said earlier, Joe, when it's something you can point to and say, I did that, it will take that entire gremlin off your back. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
Thomas Duder, author of the things. That's what I'm telling you. Okay, I got to calm down now.
No, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to close it. We're going to close this out. though, folks, and Thomas is not wrong about any of those things. The only person that is holding you back from doing something is yourself. And yes, you're going to have other people that will kind of like make you feel bad about what you're doing because they don't understand what you're doing or creativity or things like that. So they'll say something. You know?
Fuck them up a wall.
Exactly. That's what I've always said. Never let somebody else wiggle their little like insecurities into your own brain. So this is how I'm gonna end this. So we are Perfect Ratio Films. Here I am Joseph Vogley. This is Thomas Duder, author of The Things. I want to say this because you won't see us here for about another week and a half because Christmas break is coming up.
Yeah, this is the Nightmare Before Christmas episode.
You're right. This is Nightmare Before Christmas. I got my ugly sweater on.
I am wearing black. I always wear all black. That's just what I do.
It's just wait. And so, okay, so I want to leave this with everybody here. So we've been talking about writing and inspiration and things of that nature. I'm going to leave you an exercise. Now, Thomas gave you a good goal to go for. Go for that 10, 15, 20 page story. But I want you people that have a little issue with just starting out. Here is a thing that I do very often myself when I'm having blank days. I give myself little writing exercises, okay? And these are things that are easy things to do. I want anybody out there right now that's having a hard time with that, when you get a pad and pencil or on your computer or something, write a 50-word, only a 50-word story, no more, no less. And make sure you count these. Yep. I want you to write a 50-word story on a fantasy animal. Okay? That is your goal right now. And you can post it down below. You don't have to, or you could just write it. If you post it down below, then I will definitely read it, and I'll let people know, what one I thought was my favorite.
Bonus Thomas points if it's the Liger from Napoleon Dynamite. I will honestly give you bonus points if it's the freaking Liger, dude. Just saying.
See? So 50 words on a fantasy animal down below with extra points from Thomas Duder, author of The Things, and he knows what he's talking about. So don't let yourself be held back. Go write 50 words short story, 50 words, no more, no less. Make sure you do your math, folks. So anyway, this is a good start. We're so thankful that you folks are here joining us. Myself, Joseph Vogley, and then my very good friend Thomas Duder, author of The Things. My cohort in crime, my filmmaking partner. We can't wait to bring more stuff to you. We're going to be doing more of these episodes. We'll have, I can't wait for you to see in a couple years, Specimen 6 Unchained, but you won't have to wait that long for other stuff because we got so many other things in the works. So,
Chronicles, short stuff. Oh, it's going to be so good.
So much good stuff. So I'm going to say, Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays. Thomas Duder, what do you want to leave with the people before we go?
Christmas, Krimba, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever, Ramadan, whatever you're into, have a good
one. You're into, be good to each other, be good to yourself, and let's make 2021 a very happy new year.
Wait, I have a wonderful gift to give our listeners, though, our friends.
Are you ready? Keep your shirt on?
Or? No, shameless self-promotion. So, of course, find us on Twitter, Perfect Ratio.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Perfect Ratio Productions. You're going to find us on there. Of course, I put it out there, hashtag PF Rising or PR Rising. PR Rising, Perfect Ratio Rising, because we're rising in the jungle, growing stronger with Charlie. That's what's up. Find us in the darkness.
See us on Facebook. You can see us on Facebook. You can
Twitter.
See us here on YouTube, of course. Instagram, all that stuff. It's all going to be completely changed over within the next week and a half.
And of course,
Perfect Ratio.
I will be pimping it out as well, so y'all can find that. So I'm on Facebook. I have several pages on Facebook. I am on Twitter. I'm all over the place, bro. I got my own websites. thepenismysword.com, anubisunit.com. Soon thomasduder.com will be opening up, and eventually we will get perfectratioproductions.com or something like that going on.
We will, because we got lots of cool stuff going on, folks.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have links for everything down below. I want everybody to take care and have a very happy holidays, and we'll see you in the brand new year in about a week and a half, and we're going to have lots more of these shows. We're going to be talking more about writing and the filmmaking process, and just like things that we like, films that we like. Maybe we'll like break down certain films that we've seen. I know Thomas definitely has different ideas that I've seen that he likes that I don't like, and vice versa. And so we'll have some good productive arguments here or there or whatever about these films. So, all right, everybody, thank you for joining us again. We'll see you soon, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that good stuff. Goodbye.
Stay rocking.